England's updated squad for the games against the US and Canada has been named. Remember, they're playing the US on the 4th of July, so it might be a bit of an interesting one. It's a Monday for us here in New Zealand, but it's a Sunday for you guys in the UK. So it's not a huge time to get ready, especially seeing as there's been a few guys late into the camp, but it's an updated version of the squad. We'll go over it pretty quickly. I've already looked at the initial squad that he named, which was all the guys outside the top 14s. Now the guys from Bristol, Sale, Harlequins, and Exeter, one guy, have been added to the lineup. And it's maybe a little bit more, I guess, what we would expect. There's still a ton of uncapped guys. I think Slade is your most capped guy with 38 caps. But yeah, there's been a few guys who you guys have especially kind of pointed out to look out for, like Radwan from Newcastle, saying he's a real hot prospect for the future and whatnot. But yeah, we'll go through the squad. Blamire, Langdon, and Oghre are the hookers, all of them uncapped. Singleton was initially, I think, named, but then he was like a close COVID contact, so he's kind of not been included. And to be fair, traditionally, the amount of minutes that he's got under Eddie has been minimal. A very, very minimal. Singleton. I think in the World Cup, did he play like 40 minutes? It's pretty much always been Cowan-Dickie and George in the last few years anyway, so yeah, Langdon was due to start in that England A game against Scotland A that was called off, and Blamire was due to be the replacement. So there you go. Maybe that tells you something. Davison, Genge, Hayes, Hill, Obano, and Rod are the main guys. Obviously, Rod's come in, part of the Sale Sharks. Line up the other guys. Genge was due to start at loose head, with Hayes due to get his debut. Well, it wouldn't have been a debut for England A side, but due to start at tight head. And Davison and Obano were due to be the replacement. So 2 capped guys, 2 uncapped guys. Will be interesting to see if Eddie sticks with that plan or draws on some of the guys who've come in from the semi-finalists. Ewels, McNally, Munga, and Wells. Was supposed to be Ewels and Wells as your starting locking pairing. And Ted Hill was due to replace... he was in the traditional reserve lock jersey. Does he play much lock? I always thought he was a loose forward, but again, I don't know watch enough Premiership to really add much to that conversation. Ewels is clearly your most capped lock with 21, and then you got McNally, Munga, Wells, none of them who are capped. Ted Hill, if he is a lock, gets 1. So it's pretty light on experience with the Lions guys out, with Hill and Itoje being with the Lions, so kind of makes sense. Launchbury's out injured, Cruz is off in Japan, so yeah, that traditional kind of locking base is maybe looking a bit thin once you take the Lions guys out, but it's not just exclusively true to England. Welsh and Irish lineups, Scottish lineups are all looking quite different without their Lions guys, which is, I guess, to be expected. Chick, Ben Curry, not his brother. Dombrandt, Hill, Kenningham, Ludlam, Ludlow, and Underhill. Great to see Underhill back. Struggling with fitness a wee bit, but there's not many guys who do bone-crunching tackles as much as Sam Underhill. But he wasn't due to play in the A game. It was supposed to be Ludlow on the blind side, Curry on the open side, and then Chick at number 8 with Ludlam as your reserve. Lucy, again, pretty light on caps. Ben Curry finally gets a crack. Must be tough for him being Tom Curry's twin brother. He's talked about it a little bit and highlights the fact that, yeah, they are different people, even if they're twins. But yeah, it must just suck to have a brother, let alone a twin brother who plays in the same sport as you and is just on a faster path. But hopefully he gets a crack. Dombrandt is the guy I'm most excited to see. Goodness gracious me. He's been blockbusting for a couple of seasons now, at least for Quins. Now a Premiership champion, so I really hope he gets a run at number 8. Please, you guys let me know if you think Dombrandt or Chick is more likely to get the run at 8. Another guy who I'm pretty excited to see is bloody Harry Randall. So you got Mitchell, Randall, and Robson as your scrum halves. Harry Randall, I mean, when I've been talking about the fact that Eddie doesn't give many minutes to any guys apart from Youngs, he gives token minutes to guys throughout the time. Like Hines has been a guy, Robson's been a guy. It used to be Kerr and Youngs a long time ago, but everyone says, like, Randall, wait for Randall. Randall's going to be the guy. Randall. And I've seen him play for Bristol, and he's electric. So, very different guy from Young. Seems to be a lot more of a sniping, running, and good distributor as well. Maybe less of a kicking. I don't know. I don't watch enough of the Premiership again to be a huge commenter there, but I'm excited to see Harry Randall get a crack, and he was due to start in the A game, which is maybe a positive sign of intent. Likewise, Marcus Smith. There's no Simmons. Like, I don't know what it is. Joe Simmons can't get into the squad. Jacob Umaga is preferred. He was due to start in that game with Scotland Day against England Day. Smith's only just come into the side based on his goose stepping Premiership final performance. Surely Smith gets the nod. Maybe? I don't know. He's only just come into the squad. Marcus Smith, though, bro, he needs to get a game. Neither of those guys are capped. And then Kelly, Lawrence, Marchant, Ojomoh, and Slade as your midfield. As I mentioned, Slade with 38 caps is looking vastly experienced in the squad. Marchant and Lawrence have got 5 and 6 respectively. And Marchant was another guy who was great in the final. He played for my Blues team for his little stint down here in Super Rugby. Didn't get a lot of game time, unfortunately. Maybe the coaches were kind of not keen to give minutes to guys who they weren't developing in the long term. But I don't know. I thought maybe Piers O'Connor from Bristol. He's another guy. I've been watching a lot of Bristol. He seems all right. Don't know if he's a guy who misses out for a particular reason. Ollie Devoto, maybe because he plays for Exeter. I don't know how that works. But yeah, Marchant, Lawrence, both been there or thereabouts. Single-digit caps. And then Slade, your experienced guy, with Kelly and Ojomoh being uncapped. So it was supposed to be Kelly and Lawrence at the weekend if that game hadn't have been called off. And Bassett, Cokanasiga, Radwan, Furbank, Malins, and Stewart. People, when I mentioned last time, tell me about some guys who I should be looking out to watch. People mentioned Stewart. He was due to start at fullback. People mentioned Radwan. He was due to start on the right wing. So yeah, Malins was supposed to be on the left wing. He has been capped for England a few times. So seems to be a fair bit of excitement in that lineup. Hassel Collins, is that his name? He was another guy people mentioned, but he's been dropped from that initial lineup. No Tom O'Flaherty, again, Exeter man. He's got great attacking numbers, but doesn't maybe have the best defence from what limited amount that I've seen of him playing with England. But yeah, should be an interesting one. There's a lot of uncapped guys there, which, as I said, is not all that usual with an Eddie Jones England lineup. He does tend to stick with his main guy and throw token minutes at other guys in certain positions. You look at number 8, it's been like that. You look at number 9, it's been like that. 10 has pretty much been Farrell and Ford for ages. He has tinkered around a wee bit with some other positions, but since Tom Curry's gotten the 6th jersey, it's almost exclusively been him for like over a year. So it will be fun to see somebody else get a crack. I'm really excited to hope and see Randall, Smith. You guys have mentioned Radwan. I really want to see these guys get some minutes. How the reserve hookers go. Because as I said, it's only been really Cowan, Dickey and George for quite some time as well. Dombrandt. So I'm not only a fan of the Quins guys. It's hard not to be after that final. But yeah, one Exeter guy just seems bizarre. But Eddie seems to be keen on the fact that just because you play well for one club system doesn't mean that's going to translate well into England form. I will still listen to him, see what he's got to say in his press conferences and whatnot. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on this England squad. Are you pretty happy with it? Who else has kind of missed out? I've left a few names, but as I said, I'm not a Premiership buff. I'm more of a casual viewer, so you guys do let me know who else has missed out, who's been unlucky, if anyone's injured and maybe would have been in the squad. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.